Good morning world. I'm gonna have to make this quick. The sun waits for no man. Anyway, today is, for lack of a better term, harvest day. Because in the end, there's product. But I'm not harvesting. Now I know that sounds a bit weird, but and I know, market gardening and syntropics, two very different beasts, but this is a successional market garden. So I'm utilizing the principles that I've learned in syntropics to manage a market garden, a successional market garden. So like I said, I'm not harvesting. What I'm doing is managing out senescence and farming sunlight through strategic pruning. Let me say that once more. I am not harvesting. I am managing out senescence and farming sunlight. So look at this basil. Oh, it's beautiful. We are in February, we've had 30 something degree days for like the last couple of weeks, and look how beautiful this basil is. But you see this here, just in the top here, first sign of senescence. This plant's wanting to go to flower. So I've been holding these basil back. This is the 6th prune off these basils. Let me just pull one of these little doobie lacquers out. So you can see in the middle there, this branch has already had a prune. I strategically pruned it above a growth node, knowing that it would throw twice as many branches to maximize photosynthesis, manage sunlight. You see that? And now I get to come through and I've taken another cut at the next growth node, which is going to throw 2 more branches, and I will farm more sunlight. Let me show you guys in the field itself what we're doing. Oh, check out that cucumber. Giddy up. These cucumbers are over 3 months old and they're still giving. They don't look real healthy, but they're still giving. It's amazing. So what we have here is what looks like a massive eggplant, and it is. But this particular bed had, it's a 40-meter bed. This particular bed had over 1,000, oh no, come on, be realistic, Aaron. 800 cos lettuce in it when I first planted it, and I planted all this bed at once. Oh, the only thing I've back planted were these cucumbers because I had too many after I'd harvested everything out and I couldn't put them somewhere else, so I slapped them in here as ground cover. Not a great success. I don't like back planting. Anyway, not in a market garden context anyway. But, so what we've got here, we had a bed that had cos everywhere. And then it had these little baby eggplants when they were tiny little babies, every metre down the outside on both sides. And I got basil through the centre, every 50 centimetres down the centre. And then I had cos everywhere else. These beds are 1.2 metres wide, easy reach to the centre from both sides. I also had coriander breaking up the blocks of cos. So at the 4-week mark, coriander had really filled out and was starting to lean on the cos on the edges. So I took the cori out. Well, I actually took the outside edges of the cori out and left the bits in the centre of the cori blocks to flesh out a bit more. I managed that sunlight. We had every piece of ground covered with a green solar panel, harvesting sunlight. And then I came through, once the cos started to flesh out, I took every second cos, as nice baby cos. Sold them 2 to a bunch. Happy days. They were beautiful. It felt like the 5 and 6 week mark. And then, you know, at 7 and 8 week mark, once those other cods had fleshed out, because they really love that little growth pulse that they got from the pruning of their buddies next door, I let them flesh out and pulled them out as nice medium-sized cods, sold as individuals. Happy days. That left a bit of space, but this basil was starting to come through, and these eggplants were starting to flesh out by that point. You know, there was a bit more space in there than I would have really liked, so I did come through and put the cucumbers in there. But yes, I'm getting a few cucumbers out of it, but that wasn't a great success. But anyway, irrelevant. Now we're into I think we're at the probably 2.5 months. What are we? Start of February. This bed was planted early December, January, you know, 2.5 months. These eggplant are giving, you know, so much so that, you know, they're leaning over a bit, and look, I'm leaving this space, so I haven't managed the eggplant as well as I would have liked to have. They are staked, but yeah, they're just giving so hard. There's so much fruit. But anyway, back to the topic in hand: managing sunlight, farming sunlight, and managing out senescence. So these basils got pruned last week. Look, I probably could have taken that one this week. In fact, I'm just going to drop it, and that too, because it was going into senescence. You know, I've already taken my bunches. Go on, I'll carry it with me. We will bunch it. It's going into senescence, so I don't want that sort of information in here, you know. So we're going to manage that out, and then it comes back with some really beautiful new growth, now being, you know, protected from the harsh summer sun by these beautiful eggplants. You know, so we are managing out senescence through strategic pruning and farming sunlight. You know, let's get down the other end here, where I've just pruned today. You know, I've probably pulled, where did I start pruning today? Let me just chuck this basil in the box of basils. So down this end, you know, I've come through and already managed out as much senescence as I could. You know, these ones I could have taken. I may just tip that out, just because I wanted to farm a bit more sunlight in that space. See how tight that is? That's beautiful. It's pushing those eggplants out. That's okay. That is okay. I'm going to come through and harvest a heap of eggplant out of here, and I'll probably prune some of the eggplant back. Get a bit sacrificial, you know, manage off the lower limbs that aren't able to support that fruit, and really, you know, focus that energy on the center limbs, which are able to keep that fruit up off the ground. But all the time, I am not harvesting. I am managing out senescence and farming sunlight. I cannot emphasize that enough. That is how I make all my decisions. You know, look at that. That's a bit of senescence coming in there. Let's have a look at you, mate. Where are you? Let's get it right back down to here. Let's find a nice growth nodule. Boom. Put that there. Happy days. You know, what's going on in here? Look, that branch, I'm going to take it right back to there. And see, it hasn't really liked the last prune. I only got one growth back on that. You know what? That's not even going to get bunched. And I don't care, you know, because I'm managing out senescence. I'm not emotionally attached to the product that comes off. There's always plenty. Nature works in abundance. You know, I've probably got, and I've only worked from the end of the bed through to, I had to manage out that bloody pumpkin, through to here. Oh no, I did this end. So look, it's a 15-metre section. 15 metres, and I've managed out probably 40 bunches of basil. You know, and it's got to be the 5th or 6th prune that this basil's had. And each time it just keeps giving. Every time I make a strategic cut, a strategic prune at just above the next growth nodule, it doubles the amount of production on that branch. It doubles the amount of branches. You know, this is what we're doing. We're managing. If I went out here just to harvest, I'd be cutting bunches. Cut, bunch. Thinking about dollars. Bullshit. That's not what I'm here to do. We are managing out senescence and farming sunlight. All right, peoples, I cannot dick around because the sun waits for no man, and I have got more goodness to get off. So, big love. Unearthed Market Gardens. Anna and Aaron Unearthed. Check us out. You won't be able to watch this space for too much longer because I'm actually moving to a new space, and we're going to set this whole thing up again somewhere else and regenerate more land. You know, I've put in beautiful tree rows here, but they're going to get left to another man to manage. Another tree row over there. 10-metre spacings. I know that seems wide, but this is market garden context, guys. And like a good man in the field once said, a man Scott Hall, a man I look up to, a very honourable man, a very knowledgeable man, once said, market gardening and syntropics are very different beasts. And he's right. But you can take some of the principles and share them, you know, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm also squeezing in a bit of biodynamics, plant on the moon. I'd really like to be harvested, like pruning on the moon, but you know, it is a market garden context, and you got to manage each week to get some product off to fund my addiction for tree row succession. So, but anyway, just a quick note on managing sunlight, farming sunlight, and managing out senescence. All right, happy days.